Hello, spooky listeners. The Three Twisted Sisters here, Britt,
Kayla,
Alexandra,
and we have a twisted episode for you guys tonight, and it's all about sleepwalking.
Ooh.
Have you guys experienced sleepwalking?
Yes.
Yeah, like too many times, and like multiple times.
Wow.
Like how many?
Like 2 handfuls times. Like, yeah.
Holy crap.
What about you?
I think it's either once or it was just a really bad nightmare. I don't know any other times other than that.
I don't know if I'm alone here, but I think sleepwalking is kind of creepy.
It's
Yeah.
so creepy.
Right? I mean, as someone that has sleepwalked,
Sleptwalk.
Sleptwalked.
Sleptwalk.
Sleptwalk.
As someone who has experienced sleepwalking before,
Yeah.
I can safely say, yeah, that shit, it's creepy.
It's so creepy. Like, it's...
You know what's even creepier, though? Is that
What?
all of us have experienced it. And it's pretty rare.
Yeah. Is it really?
Is it really?
Yeah, only like, I was reading today, like 29% of kids between, because so the most common age to sleepwalk ages it's between 2 and 13. That's the most common ages to sleepwalk. But 14 to 18-year-olds, they can sleepwalk also. It's just more rare. And then once you're over 18, it's incredibly rare to sleepwalk. But from the ages of 2 to 13, only like 29% of kids sleepwalk.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's so scary, but like, imagine if it like stays like your entire life. Like, you're an adult sleepwalking.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Hal
I
just
know.
off the camera. That's a howl.
Like, that's just...
That would be so...
Because like, imagine you're like, you go downstairs while you're sleepwalking and you want to make food and you like get an onion and you start chopping an onion. Like, that's terrifying.
I don't know. It's just like the not knowing what I'm doing. Like
no
Yeah.
idea.
Like, what
am I
if you kill
doing?
someone?
You know, there's actually some cases where people have sleptwalked and murdered people.
Yeah.
That is a good alibi. How many times has that happened?
There's been like at least 68 court cases, like, of sleepwalkers murdering people.
Wait, but like, how do you... I mean, it's murder, so it's murder, but how do you defend yourself? How do you...
Like, you gotta have a really good lawyer. I'm scared.
Seriously. Like, how... Like, what if it's... I mean, how do you even go about that?
How do you prove that? That without a shadow of a doubt, they were sleepwalking.
So there's gotta be like a history of sleepwalking, obviously. Like, it can't be like a one-time occurrence for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
at the end of the day, like, they go into the courtroom and the jury's like, yeah, they did kill it or they didn't. And a lot of the time it's like, well, they don't know what they were doing. So
wow.
But there's people like that have been convicted of like murder, like first degree murder, stuff like that. And it's kind of crazy because once you get out of that like child stage of sleepwalking, it starts to become more of like a sleep disorder. And there's like a lot of like telltale signs of people that are more like prone to sleepwalking, which is kind of crazy, like high depression. There was one that was like what's that word?
Schizotypy?
No.
Oh,
you say it all the time. Schizophrenia.
I say it all the time. Whoa, I don't say it all the time.
Schizophrenia. Another one would be like having intense night terrors. Like, that would cause someone to like start sleepwalking, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So if you're diagnosed with that stuff, then that kind of builds your case back up.
Yeah, I feel like that would make it like, oh, like they were unconscious.
Right.
And that's how they would get away with doing it without being charged.
I can't even imagine going into I can't even imagine going into a murder investigation as a murder suspect, but I can't go in I can't imagine going into that. I gotta just really be clear. I'm not gonna kill anyone.
But that's a good alibi, you know.
Yeah, but that is a really good alibi. How could they get out of it? But I can't even imagine going into that situation and going, "Oh, I was just sleepwalking," and not having any prior history of sleepwalking. That's crazy.
No, it's super crazy. And it's like adults have like this, like for them it's more serious, obviously, because it has a pattern of things. But like for kids, it's very common in them to sleepwalk, like you said, or not very common.
Right.
Sorry, not very common.
Depending on the age.
Depending on the age. However, for them it's like because they want to resist bedtime. So like their brains so like trying to resist bedtime that like it just like gets up while they're sleeping, like so like innocently versus like having something serious. Like I know trauma and PTSD trigger sleepwalkers and adults as well, which is kind of intense.
That is.
But when kids start to do it more often, then they get like sleep tests, and that's how they figure out like that they have the disorder.
Oh, I think I heard something about like kids that suffer from sleep apnea.
Yeah,
that they are way more prone to having sleepwalking episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
That worries me because my son has been known to sleepwalk.
Yeah.
And typically it's him making his way from his bedroom down to our room or down to the bathroom or whatever. But there's been a couple instances that my husband and I have heard like a shuffling in the hallway, and we're like, what the hell is that? And then a jangling of our doorknobs. And we're like, what is going on? So one night we got brave and we're like, what the fuck is happening? Like something is going on right now.
One night you got brave.
I'm just
kidding. Hey.
I'm just kidding.
You know, and the kids are supposedly fast asleep. You know, it's late at night, whatever. So we were both like, okay, let's go check it out. Like, what is this? So we open the door. We like look down the hallway and there's nothing there. And then we see movement on the stairs, and it's just our son heading up the stairs, unresponsive, like completely sleepwalking. So we followed him upstairs, made sure he made it safely to his room. It was a whole thing.
That's gotta be so scary. Like you hear a little jingle jangle and then like nothing, and then I don't know, we're like, oh my gosh, like that would be terrifying.
Movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Up the stairs. No. I've never been able to handle like scary movies that feature like children having like doing scary stuff. It sticks with me.
Like, and then like go back to adults. Like I'm gonna tell you guys, I found a case of someone actually murdering their wife
While they were sleepwalking?
Oh my gosh.
Did they get charged?
I'm gonna tell a story, and then I'll let it be known at the end.
Okay.
Okay.
Hang in there.
Okay.
Hang in there.
So this gentleman called Scott Flatter.
Flat Earth?
Flat Earth. Not Flat Earth.
Is the flat Earth or what?
Our animals are.
Our animals?
Yes! She got up and went over there.
Yes!
Lay down and stretch out, and Hal's
Look at
like,
him.
no.
He's so cute.
Right.
He's
Okay.
like, I'm just being
Anyways,
a good
back
boy.
to Scott Flatter.
Yeah, Flat Earth.
He was dubbed the Sleepwalking Killer.
Oh.
That's not a good dub.
No.
And guess who he murdered?
His wife.
How did you know?
Because you said it. No, I did not. You said I've got a story about a guy who murdered his wife.
Oh, I did say that?
Yeah.
That was a trick question.
Oh.
But so he did stab his wife multiple times.
Oh my god.
To be exact, 44 times.
Oh my god.
Whoa. Okay, sir.
Was she asleep?
No, she was not asleep.
Oh.
But so this happened back in 1997, right?
Back?
And
Like that was so long ago?
that's like
Don't.
almost 25 years ago.
So, just more recently, 1997.
My math was right?
I think
Yeah.
it's
25.
25 years.
That's what I said, right? Okay, cool. Yeah, 25
You said
years ago.
almost 25 years.
Well, you don't know when the murder happened, Brittany.
Yeah, it could have happened in this.
Get off her nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened?
So he stabbed her 44 times, right? And then he continued to be in his sleepwalking phase. And still, like, he drowned her after he stabbed her.
No way. No, cut it out.
No, I won't.
No.
Wow.
I was like, you won't.
Yeah, and he got convicted of first-degree murder back in 2000 for that one.
Wow.
He did get convicted.
Which is crazy.
Jiminy Christmas.
Which is so crazy because when you're sleepwalking, you're in your NREM phase, so you're not even in your REM sleep. So, like, to be in that kind of a haze, like, it's got to be so trippy.
Yeah.
Well,
But also at that point, I think that they're saying he didn't do it while he was sleepwalking. So he wasn't in that phase. Because that's how you get convicted, right? They have to prove that you weren't actually sleepwalking.
They have to believe that, yeah, basically.
So I
come down.
to it. I'm like, there is no way he was sleepwalking.
Maybe, like, when he started stabbing.
Right.
But, like,
But
once
then
he, like,
wake
woke
up and then pick her up and then put her in the bathtub and drown her? I mean...
Unless he had severe PTSD and was just having...
But I don't think he would have been convicted.
A trauma response.
I mean?
It comes down to, like, the lawyers and the jury, the judge.
That is true.
Oh, that's an unfortunate story.
Yes.
Yeah. And you know, sleepwalking's actually got a fun little name, a medical term.
What
is it?
Somnambulism.
Somnambulism. Can you say that 5 times fast?
No, thank you.
Oh, come on. You don't even want to try.
A party trick.
Somnambulism. You cannot say it. Am I pronouncing it right?
No.
Somnambulism?
No.
Rude.
I wonder if, like, they've made, like, a movie or film of, like, someone doing, like, sleepwalking.
Ooh.
You know,
I
like
think yeah. They had to have.
Well, this, like, came to mind for me, American Horror Story Season 1, Murder House.
Your favorite one?
I haven't seen that.
Really?
What?
No, wait. Is that the one where the ghosts are trapped in the house, but they're actual beings in the house?
Beans?
Like pinto beans?
Like those motherfucking pinto beans?
Okay.
It's the one with the school shooter kid.
And there's ghosts, and there's also real people, and they live in this house with the black leather suit.
Okay, I have seen it. I didn't know that was sleepwalking. I thought they were just dead.
The husband every night would wake up or would have his sleepwalking, like the house was telling him stuff. Same like with, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think Amityville Horror also had kind of like a sleepwalking element to it. Because and another little pop culture reference, throwing it back, Anastasia.
Yes.
That movie, animated movie.
The Disney movie?
No. What? I've heard of it. Maybe I've seen it, but I just don't remember it.
You should watch it with Kayla. You should watch with Kayla and the boys tomorrow.
Yeah. It's that's I mean, we won't spoil it, but that is a crazy part. Actually, we will. Whatever. You should have. It was like from the 90s. You should have seen it already. But there's a part where she is sleepwalking on a ship.
What?
And it's scary.
She's about to fall over. It's this whole sleepwalking situation.
I really do not remember this movie, but I know the name.
Oh my gosh.
You have to watch it.
Yeah, that is a really good one because that's, and maybe that's why I'm so like, sleepwalking is so creepy because when you ever are introduced to it in Hollywood, it's creepy.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Paranormal Activity. Duh. When she's just like standing there at the bed, like
Oh yeah.
sim mode in front of the bed.
I was
Glitchy.
like, but yeah. Man, we remember when we would just go to the movies and watch
Yes.
Paranormal Activity? Yeah, that's actually if it ever comes back into theaters or if there's a movie like it, go and see it in the theaters because it's a fun time.
No,
It is. It's way less scary because everybody's
like, ah, and then everyone's laughing like,
and the teenagers are all like being kooky kids.
Yeah. Maybe if we went and did that now, we'd be like, these kids are annoying. But
no, Cap, these kids are.
We're like in the know.
Yeah, no Cap.
Like,
no Cap.
It.
These kids need to be yeeted out of here. The show.
Okay, so Brittany, besides your son sleepwalking, have you ever sleptwalked?
Now, this one is a little bit tricky because I don't know if it's sleepwalking, if it was a vivid nightmare, or if it was actually like a real instance. I think it was more of the prior to, but so let me just break it down for you. Break it down for you. So, taking you guys back to that house that we grew up in that we swear up and down was haunted. So Kayla and I are sleeping in our room in the attic, and our cat was sleeping on my bed with me. So I wake up, and it happens to be thunderstorming. Missouri gets a lot of thunderstorms, and the lightning was so bright that it lit up the house. So the lights were all off. I snuck out of bed to get some dry cereal. I remember I was getting Lucky Charms, baby, from the fridge, from the kitchen. So I go downstairs. The cat goes with me, and I look and I see that the basement door is cracked, and our cat Dino runs down the stairs. And I'm like, Dino, where are you going? Like, what the heck are you doing, little me? I go down to the basement. All the lights, the power's cut off, of course. So this is like the vivid nightmare part that it could be, whatever. Mm-hmm. Go down to the basement, and then I see my cat. Every flash of lightning, I get a glimpse of my cat like walking further away. I'm like, where are you going, Dino? Like, where are you going? And he runs across the basement. I see it flash, and I see him squat and jump onto the shelves on the back wall. I walk over to him, and as I'm like reaching out with both my hands to grab him off the shelf, I'm like, Dino, come on. And I see his glowing eyes, like, you know how cats have those glowing eyes. So I'm like, Dino, and I go to reach for him, and as the lightning flashes, my size fucking Barbie is sitting on that shelf.
If anyone listening had a my size Barbie, raise your hand. I had, and
Disgust.
It's like 3.5 feet tall because it's supposed to be your size. And Brittany was terrified of it.
So it was never the cat?
No, I think that it could have been Dino, but the on the shelf part, absolutely not. I could totally see that being fucking my size Barbie because that doll was evil, and I stand by it. I was tormented by that damn doll. Ugh. Honestly,
I mean, we'll go really in deep in our episode about dolls, but Brittany was traumatized by this my size Barbie from Jump. Like, she was like not about it.
I don't mess with that doll.
Yeah, she was. I opened it, and she was like,
"Comes
no.
at me sideways. I'm gonna come back."
Every garage sale we had, I would stick that doll in the front to get it sold.
Took it.
No, there was a time that. Okay, you know what? Trauma share, everyone.
Oh, cry.
There was a time when, and the thing that really stuck, because it's not like I played with it every single day. Like, we would do its makeup and hair and stuff, but
Every day.
not me.
yeah, okay, I would.
So every day.
But we kept it so long because Brittany was terrified of it.
That's so rude.
Yeah.
You're
and-
traumatizing her. What do you mean your trauma?
Yeah, because it was a family heirloom that we used to
fuck
torture
off.
the
Oh my
middle
God.
child.
Brittany, are you okay?
No.
But I did like it. We'll get so deep with My Size Barbie, but I did like it. And Brittany tricked me into going inside, and she sold it to some guy
I'm
with
so
a
proud of you,
kid.
Brittany.
But honestly, like
got rid
from
of that.
from the deepness of my heart throughout like the rest of our life, because we end up fast forward like 7 years, we buy Brittany the exact same My Size
That's
Barbie
so
for her
rude.
birthday.
That
Yeah.
is
On my
so-
16th birthday.
It was a
so
whole thing.
rude.
It was a whole thing. And it was really fun. And we had like, because it was like an ongoing family joke for years at Brittany's expense, because she's the middle child. And but
That's so
it
rude.
has this one that we have now, I can say safely has a completely different energy than the one that you sold. So when we got the new one,
Was
and
it
I
evil?
I realized like, oh, this one's like, there's nothing creepy or weird about it. I was like, oh shit, there might have been something really creepy or weird about the old My Size Barbie.
See, that's why.
So I
never
am
played with-
sorry.
Yeah, huh?
That's why I never played with dolls, was because to me, all they radiated was creep, like creepsity.
Yeah.
Even Barbies?
Never played with them. I'll tell you what. I'll
Really?
tell you what though. I did have a bunch of stuffed animals, and action figures were fine
Okay.
because they're like
Okay.
heroes. Heroes.
I wasn't a huge.
Barbie is a hero to all little girls.
That's a stretch.
She does every
hero
single job.
for many years.
Yeah.
Brittany, I have a question.
Yeah.
Once you saw that it wasn't the cat and it was the doll, did you like run upstairs?
Oh my gosh, yes.
You were definitely sleepwalking. Like, there's no doubt about it.
I don't. That's the thing. I'm like, was I?
No, you
What was
fully
I
were.
doing?
Yeah.
No, that
Ew.
basement haunted me for sure. That's like where the evil
Yeah.
radiated from the house was in that basement. The creepiness. I don't want
Yeah.
to say evil, but like the scary part of
Like
the house.
like unwanted. Like we don't want you to come down to our basement kind of thing. And they were gonna show it. Yeah. It was creepy.
Okay, Brittany, question.
yeah.
So, like, when you were like in the basement, went to grab for your Kit Kat, and it was the doll, did you like zoom it up the stairs or what?
Oh my god, faster than fucking lightning. Oh my god, like a blur. Fuck you, cat. Bye. I'm saving my own ass. No, I remember like vividly running up the stairs, and at the time I was obsessed with Little House on the Prairie. I wanted to be Laura Ingalls Wilder, like getting into that obsession at that age. So I was wearing like a nightie, and my blanket my grandmother had sewn for me wrapped around me like all old timey. And I remember running up the stairs and be like, I better not trip on this fucking blanket because the stairs were open slat. And you always, like, there was always this fear of someone trying to pull at your ankles as you're walking up or down. So it was like always, and I don't know if it was just like a subconscious, like, oh my
No.
gosh.
And I was gonna say, when you finished that, like, it wasn't just us that felt that.
Right.
Anyone that went in that basement was like, this is a creepy basement and fuck those stairs. Everyone. So yeah,
Yeah.
100%. It was like a yucky feeling down
Brittany,
there.
I want to say, like, it's safe to say that, like, you did sleepwalk.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, I don't know if I still am like, that was so, it was so fantastical. Like the lightning and seeing my cat running and eating Lucky Charms marshmallows in the middle of the night and then running down the stairs, like fucking My Size Barbie, you know?
You could have been having a night terror because people, like I said earlier, like people with night terrors are prone to
Yeah.
sleepwalk.
So it
That's
could have started
true.
with a night terror and then
You're like, oh, I'm awake.
and then woke up. And of course, wake up where you did and how you did.
In the basement, like
What were you thinking?
What was I thinking? I never ran up those stairs, ran across the freaking living room, dining room, living room. No, so the My Size Barbie thing was weird, but that basement, oh my gosh, nightmares. Where nightmare fuel is made. That basement, ladies and gentlemen. Did you experience any of your sleepwalking times in that house?
No.
No.
What?
No.
Sorry.
I surprisingly I didn't. Like, yes, sleep paralysis, yes, hauntings and an imaginary friend that was a ghost. But sleepwalking,
Allegedly.
at least, right. But as far as I know, I don't think I sleptwalked in that house. My sleepwalking story happened in another house that we lived in Missouri that was also creepy. I mean, I actually loved that house. Like,
that house was the coolest fucking house. It was definitely like there was definitely a spirit there, but they were super chill.
So chill.
It was like 100 years old when we bought it.
That's cool.
How many floors was it? 4?
Yeah.
4 floors, like in the historic part of our Missouri town. And it just had like a lot of history in this house. Sorry.
Yeah. It was like part of the basement. There's like a huge hole in the wall, and then there's like dirt steps that lead up to a whole open underground that you can actually see through like a vent in the stairs. And it was like where they hid alcohol during the Prohibition.
It's like a giant, like a deep well and like a levee system and old bottles and stuff my dad found under there. And then they had like so it was like an old style, like what one of like the like wealthier, more to-do people would have owned. So there was like a butler's pantry, a sitting room, a parlor, and the attic there was what are they called, servants' quarters, which was really interesting. We hadn't lived in a house like that old, but sorry. So go with yours.
But that's the house that I had my sleepwalking in, and it's interesting that we're like, oh, the ghost that was there he was like super chill because he was since the day we moved in. But this is incredibly creepy. Strap in, everyone, for a very creepy story. So we were watching a movie, like family movie night. Okay, I don't remember what movie it was. It could have been like 50 First Dates or Sixth Sense. Like, I just remember that we watched both of those around this time, but I don't remember if we were watching one at that time. And so we're watching a movie. I end up falling asleep on the couch. No big deal. At this time, I'm like 12 years old. And the movie's over. Everyone's going to bed. So my parents wake me up and they're like, Kayla, come on, let's go to bed, go to sleep. And I get up and I start walking towards the office instead of towards
our
the stairs.
Parlor.
Yeah.
The parlor room.
Yes. So I start walking that way. And my parents are like, Kayla, where are you going? What are you doing? And I just like stop. And my dad comes around and he's like, what are you doing? And I go, I have to get something for Claire and the witches.
You weirdo.
And they were like, what the fuck? Like, bye, bitch. And I think they just kind of turned me and like guided me upstairs. I would have been out the door. Like,
Dad said, Dad always tells that story is like, you were very adamant, like, no, I need to do this.
Yeah.
And he had to like go over to you and like pull you upstairs kind of thing because you were like, I need to do this, Dad.
Do this, yeah.
That's so creepy.
Yeah, and I have zero memory of it. I have zero memory of a dream about Claire and some witches or what the hell ever. Zero recollection of it at all.
Imagine if they had like let you play it out and like you're like walking and you like unlock the front door and like go into the woods. Like that would have been so creepy.
Yeah, or like if I would have found like, because there was a lot of weird, like, not a lot, but there was a few weird like secret spots in that house where we found different things like notes and stuff. Imagine if I would have walked in the office and like opened up some secret compartment and found like the fucking Declaration of Independence or some shit. Like, that would have been
a little Midwest for that fucking thing. But
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that would have been pretty sick.
That would have been really cool
if you were like sleepwalking to somewhere.
Yeah.
Like if you were dreaming of the house, what it was back when. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, right. and it was a very, like, I know I'm like, the parlor, the butler, but it was so, like, that was an impressionable house just because it was so cool and historical.
It was
And the spirits
huge and
there were
beautiful.
chill.
Yeah, they
Like,
really were.
the most polite kind of, like, cheery.
Like when you watch Beetlejuice, for example, and the ghosts hate the people that they live with. Like these ones were like, we'll take you. It was when we first moved in. My mom's friend was with us, and we were all sitting on the back porch, and we were all talking like, oh yeah, there's definitely a ghost here, but he seems pretty cool. And my mom's friend is like, oh yeah, he's cool. You know what? Let's name him Bob. Like, oh, Bob. And she goes, Bob, come on out and sit with us. And then the back door swings open and it like hits the wall. And the chair next to her, we all saw it go down. And we were like screaming and laughing, like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, Bob. And so that's what we always called him after that, was Bob.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
And the house itself had this really, it was probably like a 4x4 ceiling fan in the attic. And when you would switch it on, the blades were like this, I would say probably like a foot wide and like 2 or 3 feet long, 4 feet maybe.
yeah.
Maybe that's not right. 2 feet long.
We'll probably have a picture of that too we could put on Instagram.
Yeah.
Anyway, so in the attic itself, it had no protective barrier around this fan, and it had been installed like for a very long time, and it would cool off the entire house. And we're talking like 4 floors, several random rooms, all getting cooled off by this same fan. But they did warn us that the potential for
Falling
accidental death.
So
because
there was
the blades are so wide and they go so fast.
Spray paint on just like the borders of it that were like, do not step past here, do not step on here. Yeah, it was creepy. That was creepy. So and then you're like walking and you're like, when it was on, you know?
Yeah, like I don't want to fall in there. So, but when you would, the crazy thing, why I'm even explaining this whole fan, is when you would be walking on the 3rd floor, you would look up, and that's where the attic fan was, in between the hall and the bathroom. So you'd have to walk underneath the fan slats to get to the bathroom. It was anytime that fan was on, I never wanted to look up, because the first time I did, I saw glowing legs standing like by the fan. And I was like, what the heck? Creeped me out. But
yeah,
who knows?
It was super creepy. But it was a really cool house. That's where I had it. Sorry, Claire and your witch gang. I could not fill the order that day.
I'm sure they found someone.
Yeah, they figured it out. But what about like one of your stories? You have like, how many do you have?
A bunch.
Yay, I want to hear them.
Yeah.
You guys know about the one about me eating watermelon.
Yes.
Right? So, like, I kind of want to dive a little bit into my outfit. So my hair was short, bobbed, right? And my parents loved to put this like multicolored onesie on me. And like I wasn't very tall, and it was like a kind of a saggy onesie. So like just like a little saggy body walking. Not like but you know what I mean?
That's cute. Yeah.
But I used to scare like the living daylight out of my sister, because it would be like little me in the middle of the night, because my parents had me in their room, and the entrance, it's a SoCal house. So like Southern California house is one story. Like my sister's entrance door and my parents' entrance door could both see the hallway that led to the kitchen. And I used to scare her so bad, because I would walk back and forth in the hallway for like a minute before my parents realized I was sleepwalking. And she would just watching me sleepwalk. And she like was terrified. Yeah, I feel bad, but I was like a kid.
I can't help it. I was sleepwalking.
But get this. So fast forward, we moved to Ohio, and like I went on another like sleepwalking binger, right? And birth giver in this house that we had in Ohio, which was kind of not a scary house, but like it was just really dark in there. And like I had to cross like a long stretch of hallway to get to where I used to always go into these creepy locations. So, I was maybe like 7 or 8 or 9, maybe. No, 7 or 8. And my birth giver said that she used to always find me underneath my sister's bed in a little ball. And she also had a desk. And I would be, when you like push a chair in, I would be right where the chair is, like just there, chilling. And that's where she would find me. And then there was another location that she would find me in that house. When you like, it was kind of a, what is it? When it's a open concept kind of house,
like a loft.
Not really, but when you walked in, it was like very high ceilings,
vaulted ceilings,
very high ceilings, and it led to the living room, but the stairs and like a small little like crossing bridge to my room was there. And then to like the right was like a study, and to the left was a dining room, and like kind of to the adjacent to the dining room was the kitchen. And then there was like an entrance from the dining room to the kitchen, and then right to the right of the entrance of the dining room was a basement door, which was, oh my god, that basement was creepy. Like it was half done and half of it was gray wall, but it was separated, and the gray wall was just like so creepy, like the gray filled room, like it was creepy. Yeah.
I feel like I got
and there
chills.
was like no light, natural light in that basement, but the finished basement there was natural light.
Yeah, that's like setting yourself up for some creepy shit.
No, it was wild. So she used to find me sitting at the door of the basement in between the living room. Like there's like a little like corner, like the dining room entrance, and the basement door. Like I was just sitting there.
Staring at the basement door?
I was like let's say this is like I'm right here, like just like this. Like
the little kid from The Grudge.
Yeah. Essentially.
Oh my gosh.
My brother called me the Grudge during this era of my life. But I think since we were talking about dolls earlier, I think the creepiest one and the last one that I remember, and I haven't sleepwalked since, it was, I think I was either 10 or 11, right? And we went to Colorado to visit some family, and at the time my aunt and her family had like this very old-timey home. Like it was like real wood built. It was a corner house, and like the city was built around it, like because they preserved it essentially.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So when you walk in to this house, there's like an outside patio, like a covered patio, and then right next to the entrance was like a shelf with dolls, and they were like the ceramic dolls.
Oh no, those are the bad ones.
Yeah. So like when I first walked in, like I saw those right away, and I'm like, that's kind of creepy.
Noted.
Yeah, I was just about to say noted.
And like just your typical like weird old timey house, like it had little doors to nowhere. It was weird. Yeah. And like
Coraline.
Yes, there was like a door like Coraline, and like the stairs were creaky. So it was bedtime, right? Obviously, and I was asleep, and I like sleptwalked all the way downstairs, and I was standing just facing all those creepy dolls. And I was just like I remember like waking up and I'm looking at them, and I look to my left and I'm like, I'm outside, like I'm in the covered patio, and I bolted back into the bed. Like I ran so fast.
Oh my god.
Did you tell anyone?
No.
Oh my gosh. I would have been crying. I would have been so freaked out.
I was like steps at a time. Like I ran so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember, so like you've sleptwalked a lot. Do you remember if you dream while you're doing it?
That I don't remember, but I do. One of the times that I was caught under my sister's bed, my birth giver woke me up, and prior to being woken up, all I remember was being cold. Yeah, like I was like freezing.
What if like I would want them to do a study to see if like you're astral projecting when you're sleepwalking, because like if you remember being cold, you know what I mean? Like you weren't. You might have been cold under the bed. I mean, I don't know. Was it wood or carpet?
It was carpet, but like her furniture was wooden.
Yeah, because like imagine like you're so little and you don't know what you're doing, and like you astral project to like the middle of like a snowy forest or something, and like that's what
Like
you
you're
remember.
like chilly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes
That's
sense.
cool.
That's kind of
Yeah.
cool.
So I know that when we talked about pop culture references, we were it was more of like the house is doing this, the something paranormal is causing this. What do you guys, I know like we have the scientific kind of definition of sleepwalking, but what is your like out there paranormal view on it?
But normally when I've thought of sleepwalking, I've thought of like a spirit possessing you in a way. You know what I mean? That's what I've always like, oh, I wonder if that's what's happening. But that your little explanation made me think, oh, I wonder if it's like astral projecting.
Interesting.
I don't know. I think two things. I think it could definitely be like something like mentally is going on that your brain's like, oh no, I should be moving right now. And I think because you're in such of like you're asleep, obviously, and you're in such a vulnerable state that like if something was around and it saw you doing that, and it's like they're not conscious. Like I'm sure like you could be definitely guided by something.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And I also agree. I know that it's like a legitimate sleep disorder or something like that. Yeah. So it's
that was just
sleep issue. But that is something also I'm like, I've always wondered, like, is it just that for everyone?
Right.
Pretty cool though.
Yeah. What about you, Britt?
What?
What do you think it is?
Oh, what do I think it is? So for me, I think I definitely could see like, oh, like higher stress or like we were saying, like a more scientific explanation for sure. But I could also see like Alex was saying, like the vulnerability of the, you know, this person is unconscious right now. It is easier to persuade or move or, you know, whatever, speak to, I don't know. But that's kind of, yeah, I could see that for sure.
Yeah. Imagine we all like sleepwalk after this. After talking about it for a minute.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
I would say hard pass.
I'm just joking. It's a joke.
But imagine if we do. Then what? Then what do we do?
Then we're stuck. We won't know what's going on.
That's true.
We'll probably run into each other in the kitchen or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Freak out the animals. Yeah, we'll let you guys know if we do.
Okay, but like on a serious note, thank you, Twisted listeners, for tuning in. It's very much appreciated.
Absolutely. And this was just like a really fun little topic for us to kind of dive into. If you guys have any fun topics or spooky paranormal shit that you guys want us to cover and talk about, definitely send us some information.
Yes. We want to hear your creepy stories, all of them, any kind of creepy story you have, but definitely
suggestions.
Yeah, definitely. If you guys have a topic you want us to talk about, or if you have a sleepwalking story you want us to talk about, definitely send us a message on our TikTok or our Instagram @_3 Twisted Sisters. Follow us on YouTube if you're not watching this on YouTube @3 Twisted Sisters Podcast. Or go ahead and send us an email at 3twistedsisterspodcast@gmail.com. We want to hear your guys' suggestions and your stories.
Alrighty, so we hope you guys have a wonderful and safe rest of your week, and that you all take care and stay twisted.